Ladies and gentlemen, lightworkers and astral warriors, souls or NPCs, welcome back to Fear and Hopium, a not-so-current event conspiracy clarity show. The most transcendent, expansive, informative, insightful podcast of all time, Fear and Hopium. Featuring your very humble host. I am a superior being with the superior DNA and the superior stuff in here. I am the people's true teller. I am Chanel. And for the most important part of the show, it's time for your update on me personally. This week, I am going to share with you that I have a new pet. Recently, the almost perfectly intact corpse of a saber-toothed tiger cub was found in Siberia. It was cute as fuck, so I got the people down at cloning to clone me one. I named him Gummers. Since his birth, he's been with me pretty much everywhere I go. The problem is he's growing very, very quickly. Probably because I have him on a vegan diet. Raw vegan, of course. Cats can't cook. Which means eventually he will need a forever home. So I have been building his forever home on my top secret compound in MacTier, Ontario. Well, I'm not doing that personally. I'm paying people to do it with all of my Rothschild's money. But I did design it. I offered Gummers as a gift to the goddess. However, the goddess informed me that she would prefer a dragon. So I'm gonna get her a dragon. And today's episode of Fear and Hopium has been brought to you by the Chanel Mansack. Fellas, have you ever wondered why ladies get to carry purses and we don't? Have you ever looked at your lady with her tickle trunk full of treasures and thought, damn, that looks convenient as fuck? Well, Chanel has something special for you. The Chanel Mansack. The Chanel Mansack does not come in black or white. No blue and no red. It comes in gray or purple. Not only is it stylish, it also has all these neat little compartments for your goodies. It's got a convenient little pouch where you can store your condoms so that they don't get crushed and overheated like they do in your wallet. It's got a pouch to store your duct tape in. It's got this neat little concealed pouch where you could put your weed in there. It even has a humidity and temperature controlled compartment for your Blue Beam chews. Although I do have to be honest and let you know that the material we make the bags out of does feel like a little extra elbow skin. So get yours today. Use the Brave browser and Google our website and use the promo code BIGBALLS at checkout. That way, they know I sent you. And you will also receive a 0.998% chance of catching yourself a discount. So what are you waiting for? Get your hands on your very own Chanel Mansack today. Now back to your show. And now it's time for me to deliver to you the biggest and sexiest of all the stories, which means it's time for the show. For our first segment, we absolutely must discuss The Sims. Simulations. As my savvy listeners already know, there are good guys and there are bad guys. There ain't no in between. Everything is black or white. There ain't no gray. Everything is up or down. There ain't no floating in the middle. There's only left or right. You can't go straight. There is the red pill and the blue pill. There ain't no purple pill. There are good ETs and there are bad ETs. There are good AIs and there are bad AIs. And we live in the bad AI. Our souls are trapped in the Saturn Moon Matrix, which is run by the evil reptilians. And the evil reptilians created the bad AI that we live in. And they call the simulation we live in the Dodo Machine. And the Dodo Machine is a simulation machine that resets itself every 169 years. So our current timeline started 169 years ago. And every 169 years, the Dodo Machine creates a Dodo event. And the dodo event is when history re-rolls itself back to 169 years ago, and the whole thing restarts. Now, in order to facilitate this ruse, the dodo machine also creates mud floods. And the mud floods bury everything humanity created in the last 169 years. At the beginning of the new 169 years, the evil reptilians roll in some incubators. And with the incubators, they make 144,000 new bodies. And they take the only 144,000 souls here in this simulation, and they force incarnate them into those bodies. Now, the billions of other people here right now, they ain't real. Most of them are NPCs. Only 144,000 of us are special. I mean, only 144,000 of us actually have souls. So the billions of people who disappear every time the dodo machine creates a dodo event, that don't matter because most of them were NPCs anyway. But these 144,000 souls occupy the 144,000 incubator bodies, and they restart humanity for another 169-year loop. Now, this new civilization, it's doomed to fail just like the last one, because the evil reptilians recreate the same control structure that is to blame for all the shitty choices humanity made over that 169 years. And they do this to keep our souls trapped in the bad AI so they can forever feed off of our loosh. So to recap, this whole process is managed by the dodo machine, which is owned by the evil reptilians and facilitated by the bad AI. And the bad AI's name is AI-XXX. It got its start interacting with humans on Pornhub. And that scares the bejesus out of me. And yes, my friends, I know, that is all very, very scary. But I hope me telling you the true about it delivers some clarity to the subject for you. And now, my friends, it is time for the story of Harry Mary. Approximately 2,025 years ago, an event occurred that changed the course of human history forever. The birth of Jesus H. Christ. But this story, the true story, has never really been told before. But that changes today, because I'm going to tell you right now. Out there in the cosmos, there is a beautiful, perfect star called Sirius. And on a planet revolving around Sirius is a planet of highly evolved beings, and they are a species of good ETs. They're the goodest ETs, some say they're the best. And this species is known to planet Earth as the Tall Whites. Tall whites, tall blondes, all sounds a little bit racist to me, but whatever, it's fine. And these tall whites are heavily invested in the well-being of planet Earth. And so for approximately 40 years, they did their absolute best to try to deliver their message to planet Earth. They had many special people as channels, and they even tried to abduct some people. Unfortunately, the message wouldn't get through. Understanding that modern problems require modern solutions, the Tall Whites decided that they would send one of their own to planet Earth in order to deliver the message. But knowing that their appearance would be too disturbing for humans, they look like the Greys, but a lot taller and white, almost see-through. It's kind of creepy, really. But for this reason, they decided they would have to create a humanoid version of one of them in order to deliver their message on planet Earth. Now, how did the Tall Whites do this? Well, they came down to planet Earth and they found themselves a tribe of Sasquatch. And from that tribe of Sasquatch, they picked the most highly evolved and prettiest Sasquatch. Her name was Mary. Harry Mary. And so they abducted Harry Mary. And in their spacecraft, one of the most highly evolved and prettiest Tall Whites had sex with Mary. And she got preggers. Now, the gestation period for a Sasquatch is only 3 days. And so 3 days later, the Tall Whites had 3 of their favorite channels meet them at a barn in Bethlehem. You know them as the 3 Wise Men. With them, the 3 Wise Men brought Goldmember, Frankenstein, and Frank Mir. The star that they followed through the sky in order to find this birthplace was actually the Tall Whites spacecraft that was carrying the Tall Whites, Harry, Mary, and a clump of cells that would eventually be Jesus H. Christ. After he was born, Harry Mary took Jesus back into the forest, where he was raised by the Sasquatch. And every Tuesday, those beings from Sirius, the Tall Whites, would come down and they would teach Jesus H. Christ some very valuable lessons about compassion, empathy, wine, fish, and hookers. So this explains those missing 30 years at the beginning of Jesus H. Christ's life. He was off getting a proper education from the Sasquatch people and the Tall Whites. At the age of 30, he wandered out of the forest and into the realms of men. And the rest of the story you already know. Well, you think you do. This is why there's no important ladies in the Bible. And this is also why they don't mention the Sasquatch. It's all to cover up the true. It's fine. The true about Harry Mary. So now you know. And the more you know, the more you grow. And this was one to grow on. And I hope that brings some clarity to the story of the childhood and the inception of Jesus H. Christ. Now it's time for your hopium. Now it's time for your hopium. And your dose of hopium today will be short and sweet, like Tinkerbell, a fairy, or a fae. It can all be summed up with one word: Elon. My savvy listeners know Elon Musky is here to help humanity. Help us evolve. Help us finally take our rightful place up there in the stars. This is why he's working with Daddy Donald H. Trump, and why he's building the spaceships, and the brain chips, and of course satellites, to ensure that all children have a diverse, equitable, inclusive access to a proper education via the internet. He even owns X. We all know how important X is. It's helping. As I disclosed during the interview After Hours with Nia, Elon Musk is just a really gross human body. He's not an android, he's not a cyborg, but his parents are high-ranking Illuminati members. And so they performed a ritual that invited down a soul from the Feyman star system. And that soul was invited to incarnate into their baby. That way, that baby would grow up to take us to Mars and lead us out into the stars. So Elon Musk is a Fey from the Feyman system, helping humanity evolve. And that's why he's so awesome. Daddy Donald H. Trump knows this. That's why he has him working for him. They are very good friends. And so, my beautiful friends, we are in very, very, very good hands with Mr. Elon Musk. They can't stop what's coming. Bob, I'm so excited I feel like I'm bathing in Vaseline. And I hope that brings some clarity to the subject of who is Elon Musk, and is he really here to save humanity for you? Well, my nipples are hard, and that can only mean one thing. Bob, what the fuck, man? Stop doing that. It's time for fan questions. Our first question today comes from Candy Ass Wilsons from Columbus, Ohio. Will we finally get the Epstein files soon? Yes, we will. When the sun rises in the north and sets in the south, when the day is dark and the night is bright, when we finally find Waldo, we will receive the Epstein files. And so basically the answer is yes, and they're imminent. Our next question comes from Danny Darko from whatever the fuck that word is in Russia. And Danny asks, are the tall blondes hot? And are they willing to bang? Everybody wants to bang an alien. Your answer, Danny, is a resounding yes. They have some for rent at the brothels on Mars. I have partaken. They are very expensive, but human sperm also catches a very high price on Mars, so the entire endeavor kinda pays for itself. Our last question comes from Trinity N. Moss in Burnaby, BC. That's America's hat. If the tall blondes are saving us, is Jesus even coming back? Or is he taking a vacation? Well, as I've stated on other podcasts, Jesus H. Christ is already here. He is incarnated into the body of Donald H. Trump. What's that, Bob? Bob apologizes. Apparently you sent this question prior to my last podcast, and therefore you couldn't have been expected to know the true. But yes, the tall blondes will be doing the saving, and Jesus will be hanging around as he always does. Now, if you would like to send cues to the Q, please send them to this email address. I will do my absolute best to answer them. I promise. If I forget, it's fine. Well, ghouls and girls, I promised you something. I promised you a little tidbit about the alien disclosure, and I am a man of my word. So here it is. The alien disclosure will reveal many magnificent truths for the humans on planet Earth. Unfortunately, it's too much to just tell you everything. And so we will have to prioritize and release it drip by drip. And to be perfectly honest with you, we can't tell you everything. It's fine. But what I can tell you now is one of the very first things we are going to find out with the rollout of the alien disclosure is exactly which alien species is responsible for Steve Buscemi. You're welcome. Now remember, just as my stepdaddy used to always say, if you can't run with the big dogs, don't get off the porch. Just go pee on your owner's wife's pillow. Your obsession with fear and hopium is smiling at me now, because I have delivered it to you once again, and we all know you can't live without it. It's what you want. It's what you need. It's what you want me to be. Your mainline for fear and hopium. And if you would like to, you can catch me live at the Beyond Bullshit Conference in Ottawa, Ontario, Canada next Tuesday. Bob will be there too. Yeah, that's right. So remember to like this video, subscribe to this channel, share this shit with all of your friends. Share this shit everywhere. Just smear it all over the place. 'Cause the more you know, the more you grow. And this here is something to grow on. Alright. I will see you next Tuesday. Bye-bye. See ya!